What is the best wall mount, in my opinion, for your polishers in your garage? Hey everybody, it's Jeff here, and today I want to talk to you about how do you store your polishers in your garage, be it commercial or residential or anything in between, because I've struggled with this for a long time. Going back to my original Porter cable from Meguiar's to what I'm using now, and I want to talk about two different methods I've researched and kind of toiled over probably longer than I really should have in terms of how to store my polishers. Initially, I kind of really thought about just putting them in a drawer for that really clean, nothing on the walls look, and to just keep them out of the way, keep them nowhere to be seen. However, I had the drawer to do it in my garage, but I didn't like the way it doesn't stack well, it doesn't store well, it doesn't store easily. So I went online and I, just like many of you, went on Amazon and everywhere else looking for just the right polisher wall mount. So today, that's what I'm going to talk about. What is the best wall mount, in my opinion, for your polishers in your garage? So let's get over to it. I went through a ton of YouTube videos and manufacturer sites and things of that nature. And everybody kind of tells you what it does. It just hangs your polisher. It shows a picture of the mount itself and the polisher hanging on it. But I want to go really more in depth on that with you today, because that's who I am. That's why I really toiled over, unfortunately for myself. So I've got two of what I think are two of the best, in my opinion, depending on the polisher that you have. So I went with a very popular all black wall mount that many people use. And here it is. Hold on. Oh, it is, you can see it's pretty big. The MaxShine 2-unit wall mount. Now, I think it looks great. It's constructed really well. I like the MaxShine, although I don't have any of their products except for this right now, wall mount. Now, what's great about this is that it holds two into one location. And you can see here, let me just bring it up a little closer, is this red portion here is like a rubberized material to protect your polishers. And it has notches in this groove here, depending on what polisher you're mounting to this to or holding to. On the bottom, you'll see is where the cords would go for storage. And of course, I didn't bring my tape measure. I probably should have bought it. Let me see if I have one. Hold on. Okay, I have a tape measure. So I'll have to do this off camera. It measures about 3 inches deep. So that's where your cords are going to go. So if you look in the back, you can see the area where your cords will go, right about here. Okay. Now that's fine. I think it looks great. I like it. It's kind of like a powder coated metal. It feels nice. The quality is there, and you can see how you mount it is you put it. You see the holes on the flange, right there. There's 3, so a total of 6 to mount to the wall. They do offer you. Let me just grab it. A couple of black screws and wall anchors. So if you hit a stud, perfect. If not, you have wall anchors to hold that. Now, I want to get into the pros and cons of that unit in a second. Let me show you the other one I bought. Now, I went out and bought the Adams, hopefully it doesn't reflect too much, the Adams wall mount polisher holder. Very nice. Clearly it's bright red for Adams. You can see there's no place to like store the cord, but you do have a hook here. You can kind of see the hook right there for your cords, right? Also has 3 mounting points on the flange, 1, 2, 3 on either side. However, this system does not give you any hardware. So you're gonna have to make a Home Depot run, and then I'd maybe paint the tops of the bolts when you're done red, or as close to red as you can to make it match. Or just leave it black if you just use drywall, I guess, screws, things of that nature. Very shiny, very smooth. It has a tiny, if you can see there, a tiny kink, purposeful kink in the metal. So So I'm sure that's really just to hold or to give you a little bit more space between or for the cord. Now this measures in depth, very much different than the MaxShine. This one only measures about 1 inch deep. So it holds polishers very, very differently. So I'm going to get into that in a second. Let me go back to the MaxShine and tell you how it holds. And to show you what I'm holding is I've got the Atom Swirl Killer, their Pro model. This is the 15mm throw. I've also got their Mini Swirl Killer. I think this is with a 12mm throw. This is with the corded. The cord is actually connected to the unit. And the OG, which I'm probably going to mount just because this is how I started my entire process of learning how to polish, is the old Meguiar's Porter cable. You guys probably remember this one. Short cord, okay? So let's go over the MaxShine, how it holds your polishers. Not gonna be easy, but let me see if I can make this happen on my table here. You're not gonna be able to see the cords right now. Okay, so this is more of a universal cord, or I'm sorry, polisher holder. So let's start with the 15mm throw, Swirl Killer Pro. And it just sits, you can see here's the Swirl Killer, the way it looks, right? And it's just gonna sit right on top of the unit on MaxShine. And where it's hitting, I'll try to position it so you can see it. It's kind of holding it right in this cupped area of the polisher. I'm not sure if it's easy to tell, but I'll move it so you can see. It's right about here is where it's holding it. So between the red and the black, it's where it's holding it. And it's secure. It seems fine. And let me just move this over here. And it doesn't use this at all. So this must be for more of a universal fit for polishers. Now, for the smaller 12mm, let's grab that one. And it's going to do basically the same thing. You're just going to hold it right about here on the unit. So it's just kind of hanging there. And if you look on the back side, if you can, let me move it back here, maybe it'll show better. It just kind of hangs out here. Now, my concern with this particular polisher is that it's not really secure, right? So if you accidentally walk by the unit and maybe scuff it as you're walking by, it could just fall off, right? Is it likely? I don't know if it's likely, but it's possible, right? Let's look at the larger unit. The larger unit, if I mount it, if I brush up on it, it's probably not gonna fall off if I brush up against it. There's enough of the unit overhanging on the interior of the MaxShine, and the way the mounting or it's shaped here is I guess wide enough, if that makes sense, to not fall off. So I'm pulling on it pretty hard. That's not gonna come off, right? And then, and I guess the cleanest part of the MaxShine is the area here where you get to store the cord. So I was thinking about it. Now my walls are gray in my garage, and of course all of our cords are black. Now there's only a 3-inch depth and probably a hair less because of the metal to hold the cord in terms of storage. So inevitably, you're gonna scuff up your wall with this black cord, be it white or whatever color your walls are, unless it's black, as you shove it in. This is not easy. As you shove it in through the pass, let me back up a little bit. As you shove it in through the pass, it's gonna hit the wall and you're gonna push it down, right? To fit, all the way in. So let's look at the back side. So on the back side, you can see it actually fits really nicely in there. And you're gonna easily stack 2 cords in there through the hole. Of course, the second one is gonna be above here. It'll probably end up being something along the lines like this. But inevitably you are gonna scratch up or scuff up your walls. That's just gonna happen. So you kind of have to be okay with that. Or maybe you put a little, some kind of protection on the wall. So that's the MaxShine. So let's look at the Atoms. Now the Atoms is significantly smaller and lighter, very shiny. You will get fingerprints all over this thing. So yeah, you have to kind of be okay with there being fingerprints on this and it never being truly clean all the time. Whereas the MaxShine, which I really like, that powder coated black textured finish. Now, if you look clearly, they made this unit to go with their polishers, right? So it's only 1 inch deep. So when you mount your polisher to the wall mount, it actually goes, let me just try to zoom in a little bit here. It's gonna fit right here in this slit between this red rubber area and the backing plate. Super thin. And it's gonna sit right in there. You can actually hear it, and it's just in there. That is not good. That is literally not going anywhere. You would have to really be purposeful to run past it or walk by it and brush on it for this to slip off. I don't think you could even do that, to be totally honest. And you can see here on the larger unit, it goes right to the bottom, just past the cord hook. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Frontward, sideways, and on the interior, there's just enough room for that backing plate. Which makes sense because it's theirs. And then, you would just hook the cord like that, right? So, are you gonna scuff your walls a little bit? Probably right about here when you're putting it down. And actually, you might have to, I haven't mounted this clear, I haven't tried this in the garage yet. I'm gonna have, no, that works. The cord doesn't interfere with the handle of this Pro unit. So that works out fine. All right, so let's look at the mini squirrel killer. Again, it's made by them, for them. It's gonna slip in right between the backing plate and the housing of the polisher. So we're just gonna drop it in. And again, that's not going anywhere. You can see that. You'd have to really, almost nearly bend the unit to get this off. And then because this unit is corded, we're just going to hook it up here. Right? And there you go. Let's stand back a little bit. You can see how the cord looks. I mean, is it as clean as the MaxShine? It's definitely not as clean as the MaxShine in terms of overall look. I'm kind of still debating on it, but I really like how secure the unit is right here, okay? So now let's try something that's not made by Atoms on this unit. And then we'll go back to the MaxShine and see how that works. So here's my Meguiar's original quarter cable. This thing, oh my God, really quick. I've had this for, oh geez, well over 20 years. And it still works. I've actually still used it before I bought those other units. So you can see this unit already has a backing plate on it. And what you're gonna do, or what I would do on the Atoms, is just do the same thing. Backing plate. And between here and here, that's where it's gonna hook on. Okay. Now, I will note that on the Atoms polishers, clearly this part of the polisher is plastic where this is metal. So if you were to use something older like this on this nice shiny piece of metal, it's probably gonna scratch and scuff up the mounting, the wall mount, because it's metal on metal now, including on the inside. And then, then we'll just hook up the cord and you can see that's how it would hold an older unit, right? And it works fine, it looks good. That's the only thing I'd be concerned about this unit with older polishers, because it's metal on metal. You're probably going to chip this over time, putting it on and off. Now, let's try the Porter cable with the MaxShine. Let's go back. Okay. So the Porter cable and the MaxShine, again, the MaxShine has this nice rubber area, or rubberized area, and you'd have to mount this or put this on. It kind of fits right about here, right between the, not even between the black and the gray here, but just like on it, on the seam, not in the seam. And there's plenty of room inside to leave your backing plate on, right there. There's plenty of room, so I can twist over some more. You can see right there. That's where it mounts, or how it holds. Now, in terms of how well it holds, I think it's pretty good. For this unit, I don't think it's gonna go anywhere if you brush up against it, like the small swirl killer by Adams. Like, I don't like this at all. Like, is it likely to fall off? Probably not. Oh, look at the Porter cable slipped. So this is definitely gonna slip off if you brush up against it. This one with a little bit of movement, which I guess in theory it won't move because you're in the wall. It did slip a tiny bit as I was moving that swirl killer. So keep that in mind. I mean, this, again, I love this unit. I think it looks amazing. And the sleekness and the powder coating and the black, it comes with the mounting hardware and a place to hold the cords. I just don't like how, since it's so universal with this, things could slip. So that is the MaxShine wall mount compared to the Adams wall mount. Clearly, let's see, yeah, the Porter cable mounted really nicely on this, very secure. Is just the metal on metal is probably my biggest concern on this. So I'm probably gonna keep going with these and mount these up into my garage. I think they look great. I think they both look great. It depends what look you're going for. Do you like this matte black textured, or you like the shiny Adams with the exposed? The biggest part, two of the biggest things actually is the exposed hook versus having it inside the MaxShine, let's call it interior shelf for your cords, which again, you're inevitably gonna scuff your walls up a little bit as you're pulling the cords in and out. Okay, thanks for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, check out the comments, let me know which one you prefer based on the polishes you have and how OCD you are about your garage walls, because that could make a huge difference which one you pick between these two. Would love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.